Hello adventurers, and welcome to our D&D live play. Thanks for joining us as we explore Eberron's lands and seas in Lost Horizons, the Seas of Redemption campaign. Now, let's see what our crew is up to today.
Welcome adventurers one and all to Epic Chaos Games, a D&D podcast where we set sail on the seas of Eberron in our brand new series, Lost Horizons, Seas of Redemptions. Though our last campaign ended early with a tragic TPK, prep for our next campaign, the question was asked, why not share our love for the game and storytelling with all of you? So here we are. I'm your host and DM, Derek, and I'm joined by a wonderful cast and courageous crew. Speaking of our crew, let's meet everyone's characters.
Hey, my name is Mikey. My character name is Aegis. My race is Warforged, and I am a paladin.
Hi, my name is Lee. My character's name is Arcaris de Lyrandar, otherwise known as Archie, and he is a Mark of the Storm half-elf sorcerer.
My name is Zach. I am a tiefling paladin, and I wear a frock coat, a tricorn hat, and a very stylish ponytail. And I have a peg leg and a cybernetic crutch.
What was your name?
Honest John.
Howdy, I'm Brian. I'll be playing Sunny, who is a turtle druid.
Hello, I'm Christoph. I'll be playing a Water Ganassi warlock by the name of Zendros Alizar Thaloran.
Hello, I am Nate, and I am playing Zeth, the half-elf rogue / fighter blade breaker.
Awesome. Interesting crew indeed. Now, without further ado, let's get right into it. Eberron, a realm of arcane wonders and industrial marvels. From House Lyandar's elemental airships soaring through the skies, to House Orin's lightning rail thundering across the land, all brought to life by the legendary artificers of House Cannon. The continent of Corvair is a virtual utopia of peace and progress. The world was not always this way. An age ago, the king of Corvair was assassinated, seemingly leaving behind an empty throne with no known heir. Voices of peace were drowned out by a plague of fear and suspicion. The alliance that once united the houses crumbled, as each providence vied for power, accusing one another of the assassination, all while laying claim to the forsaken crown. As war raged across the continent for nearly a century, it unleashed untold arcane horrors that would leave permanent scars on the land and the lives of Corvair. The conflict reached its tragic peak on the Day of Mourning, and unknown magics were unleashed upon the nation of Ciri, home of House Cannon, killing thousands and leaving it a barren wasteland. But amidst the bleakness, a flicker of hope emerged. A group of adventurers, seeking no recognition or fame of their own, uncovered the truth behind the war and the assassination. The Dark Lady, Sol Kitesh, Keeper of Secrets, with her hand in time itself, had orchestrated the king's murder and manipulated the nations into conflict, her minions causing the mourning and attempting many other atrocities, all to free herself from her banished realm. Her power grew with every fallen soul, until she finally broke free, causing the fall of Architects. These brave warriors stood as the final barrier against her and her forces in the Demon Wastes. With help from ROI and some forgotten artifacts, they banished Sol Kitesh once more, severing her influence and sealing her away forever. They discovered the king's lost heirs and began to reunite the fractured nations and houses of Corvair. With Sol Kitesh's hold on the mortal plane, the tragedy of the morning began to fade, and New Ciri was established as a sanctuary for all forms of life, both biological and artificial, could coexist in harmony. Despite the war's lasting effects, the Empire of Corvair emerged with hope for a brighter future. In honor of their heroic deeds, the adventurers were named the Dawnbringers. The spark of hope brought the light of a new dawn. We will forever remember our heroes. Atlas, the Lord of the Forge, Kennedy Hellwood, the aspect of Aruan, Rix, the benevolent changeling, Tiana, hero of the Silver Flame, and Virgil the Ever Vigilant. Their legacy will be remembered for all time. With peace now in the homeland, Eyes turn to the horizon on distant lands across the seas as the world enters a new age, an age of exploration and discovery. Join us in the Lost Horizons Seas of Redemption Eberron adventure. Okay. Now with that out of the way, I think it's time we start our campaign. Alright, so this will be session 0. We're going to do a series of one-shots with 5 out of the 6 of you. So I'll go ahead and start with Lee. The rest of you would like to jump into the other chat. Okay. So we're starting you off in Sharn. Sharn, the City of Towers, is a sprawling metropolis, breathtaking skyscrapers and magical wonders. Built on cliffs overlooking Dagger River, the city stretches skywards with its countless interconnected towers. The upper city glistens with luxury and opulence, while the bustling middle city teems with markets, theaters, and shops. Far below, city and industrial cogs are shrouded in shadow and filled with the sound of hard labor. Diverse races and cultures intermingle, and the air thums with the hum of magical innovation. In Sharn, adventure awaits around every corner, from the highest spire to the darkest alley. You find yourself on this fine morning following your aunt through the city. She has forced you to accompany her on a journey to the Cog and Crucible, where an artificer friend of hers works, for a part that she's needing to complete a project. You would have taken one of the mini airships that are used to get around in Sharn.
Was that mini or many?
Mini. You arrive at the docks in the early morning. Once you land, you and your aunt take off immediately for her destination. She walks with an air of purpose that she has been here many times. You've spent the last 2 months living with them since you came back to Sharn following your ordeal, and have mostly just spent time inside, trying to avoid life in general.
That sounds about right.
She calls over to you. Keep up, my boy. I get here fast.
Coming, Aunt Lyra. I pull out my tea kettle. Listen to the waves, Crest. It's almost like we're back out on the water.
He kind of does a little slosh in response. But yes, the waves crest upon the rocks. Down here at the lowest part of Sharn, you are on the Dagger River, which outlets into the sea, in the place that Sharn sits in the rocks. The main strip down to the dock is lined with shops, and you can smell the fresh breads baking and the fresh fish for sale. You hear people calling out to one another to just go about their daily tasks as another day dawns in Sharn. While you're walking, your aunt just reaches out and grabs a piece of paper off the wall, and then just, almost without looking from what you can tell, just hands it back to you. Archie, my boy, look at this curious ad I found.
A job posting? I suppose that'd be something fun. Get me out of town for a while. Gods know I can't stand being confined in the city like this.
Yeah, fresh air would do you good. The captain is apparently a self-made man. You'd like him. My friend here, where we're going, knows him quite well. He's also an artificer.
Well, if he's anything like you, Aunt Lyra, it can't be all that bad.
Oh, well, I'm not quite sure about that. I've also heard he's against the monopoly we have on elemental ships. He sounds intriguing.
Well, I suppose on the one hand, one house controlling all the trade in a certain area isn't a great thing, but on the other hand, we do provide services to the whole of the continent. I couldn't imagine another way of it being done.
True, but imagination brings innovation. Go down and take a look. Have a conversation with him.
I think that'd be a great idea. Meet you back home for supper?
I'll have someone send you another boat.
Thank you.
He's just docked, actually, down this way, the end here.
Oh. Well, that's mighty convenient. I suppose I can find you when I'm all done talking to him.
Sounds like a plan. Just be here.
Archie will begin walking towards the ends of the docks.
As he does, go ahead and describe your character for us.
Archie wears a kind of, I would suppose, standard sorceress robe It is clad in the symbols of the storm, particularly the marks of House Lyrandar. He holds a staff. Above it floats 3 runes. We'll get to that later. He carries on his side a book satchel in which he keeps many of his day-to-day things, such as his notebook, and in this particular case, he keeps a piece of his water elemental crest in a small tea kettle. He is a young man, being a half-elf of the age of 27. He's 6 foot tall, with hair that almost looks like a storm cloud, and bright blue eyes.
So, as you're walking, you take a glance at the flyer that she handed you, thinking to yourself that she almost set this up, but you read on and it says, "In search of Navigator, preferably one with an elemental. Come find Captain Aldrich Ironhand, Dock 12, on the Iron Serpent."
I suppose, setup or not, that lined up pretty well, don't you think, Crest?
Like, little gurgles in response. As you approach the dock, you spot what can only be assumed as the Iron Serpent. A massive galleon, testament to the captain's dedication, craftsmanship. The reinforced hull, and sails that have seen many a storm, is both beautiful and formidable. Detailed in black with ribs iron along the hull and a figurehead of a serpent coiled ready to strike.
It's a phenomenal description.
They have recently docked, in a couple days or so they're doing their resupplying, setting up for their next journey. You see all kind of people running around, someone shouting up on the deck, people below moving barrels and crates into the hull. You see a human in his late 30s, lean build, a studious demeanor. He's shorter than you, has dark hair, some bit of gray in it. Definitely been out on the sea a while. Has the look of a worn sailor.
I shout out, "Ahoy there! I heard you guys were in search of a windwright."
He looks up from his clipboard, spectacles hanging off the edge of his nose. Yes, my boy, we indeed are. Have you made an appointment, or is your first calling?
I suppose this is my first calling, but seeing as the posting said you need both a navigator and an elemental, I don't think you're gonna have many other prospects for the position.
Ah, right you are. That post has been up for quite a while. By a while, I mean like 2 years. Now, if you follow up to the top, you will see a young woman. She is our first mate. Just tell her why you're here, and she'll lead you to the captain.
Thank you kindly, good sir. I'm gonna follow his directions and search for the first mate.
Okay, at the top, you clearly see her. A girl with long red hair, pulled back tight into a braid. She looks just a little bit older than you, is only a little bit shorter than you are, and you can tell she's quite a sailor.
Ahoy there. I heard you guys were looking for a windwright.
You're a windwright, you say? Well then, that's wonderful news.
I suppose it's what my family tells me. Here I am.
Are you a member of the house?
As far as my tattoo says.
Well, you have an elemental?
I do right here. I pull out the tea kettle and open the top, revealing Crest.
You keep him in that.
Well, I suppose it's only part of him. You know, they're kind of manifestations of the will. I could go on about this for hours, but he gets a lot bigger when you introduce him to the water.
Wonderful. Well, we'll give it a shot. I'm the first mate, Alara. Nice to meet you.
Pleasure, Alara. My name's Archie.
Archie. Got it. Follow me. I'll take you to the captain.
Yes, ma'am.
She leads you down through the ship. Pass pretty much everything until you get down into the engine room. And the captain is working hard on what you would recognize as an elemental engine. But from what you can tell, it is unlike one you have ever seen.
Quite the contraption you're working on there, sir.
You startle him and he... Oh! Surprised me there, son. Eberron, who's this? Oh, this is someone trying out for your position. For Windwright. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Well, son, what's your name?
Arcaris the Lyrandar, but everyone just calls me Archie.
Archie. Got it. Well, my name's Captain Aldrich Ironhand Elaine. Pleasure to meet you.
I hope it's alright if I just call you Captain. I won't remember your name.
Honest. I like it. Not a problem. Not a problem. So, fancy yourself a win, right, eh?
So the past 10 years or so have shown me.
10 years, you say? That's a long time for someone your age.
Well, I age a little bit slower than most normal humans.
Well, I can see that. What I mean is, most kids your age haven't been sailing that long.
Well, the conventional approach has never truly appealed to me. I figured rather than sitting in school, it'd make more sense to go out and learn from the best.
Man of action. I like it. Well, as you can see behind me, I'm making my own elemental engine. And I've been looking for someone to both pilot it and supply the elemental.
I think I could sure handle the providing the elemental, but I don't know if you know this or not about the traditional elemental galleons. They do require a crystal to focus the elemental through. That's how we're actually able to control it. Your contraption seems a bit unorthodox.
Oh, assuredly, but I got that covered too. He opens it up and there's a crystal inside. Just got this beauty
Outstanding.
on our last voyage. It was quite the hassle.
I can believe it. They're not exactly easy to come by.
Nope, had to pry this one out of a monster's hands. It's crazy.
Well, you seem like the kind of guy I could work for. What else do you need to get this thing running?
We got a little more tinkering to do, but I think it's pretty much ready. I have my friend over at the cog getting us the final part, and I think we can do the ritual.
Have you attempted the ritual before? Would this be your first time?
Yeah, first time.
That's quite the spectacle, to be sure. I suppose if you think she can handle it, I'm happy to oblige.
Wonderful. Well, son, I think you're hired.
I figured as much based on your lack of prospects, but I appreciate your consideration nonetheless.
Funny too. All right. Well, should take me a couple days to get that part, and then I think we'll be ready to do the ritual. So, should give you a few days to get your affairs in order.
I wanted to ask. My aunt seemed to think that you were rather adverse to the idea of the house having a monopoly on the ships. Would this be a off-the-books position?
You mean unsponsored by the house?
Correct.
Well, I suppose so.
Are you alright with the prospect of me talking to other members of the house about it? Or should I just say I found a ship that would take me as a windwright?
Well, I don't rightly know how they'll react to me having built my own machine.
We can leave that part out.
And sure.
Very well. I suppose I can report back in a day or so, help you make the final adjustments, and we can get the actual ritual underway.
Sounds like a plan to me. He extends his right, very mechanical hand out to you.
I give it a firm shake.
Good lad. Well, see you in a couple days.
Yes, sir. Captain, sir.
All right, come on this way. I'll show you out.
Yes, ma'am. Right behind you.
Captain seemed to like you. I think you'll fit in good around here.
Well, can't be any worse than my last crew, but I suppose that's a story we can get into some other time.
Of course, we'll have lots of time. You made it to the top of the deck. All right, take care now. See you in a couple days.
I suppose I'll see you in a couple days then. And rather than walking down the plank, he's just going to gently float off the deck and down to the dock itself before walking off.
You kind of hear her little laugh in response. You make your way back to your aunt. She's coming out the door right as you get there. Oh, Archie. How'd it go, my boy?
Well, it sounds like I got the job. I think I'll need some help getting prepared for the ritual, but it shouldn't be any different from last time, I take it, right?
I don't see why not. You'll be fine. That machine will handle it all right.
Well, that's the hope.
Trust your aunt, yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
She gives you a wink of secrecy.
All right. I will accompany her back to the house headquarters, I suppose, or wherever we're staying.
You would be staying in like their townhouse, a little farther, kind of like close to the headquarters for sure, but in a little bit nicer district.
Understood.
Is there anything you want to do over the next 2 days?
I think he'll make his preparations, gather the incense required for it, make sure he's got his dagger ready to go. You know, maybe go over the words a time or two. But other than that, I think he's going to spend most of his time communicating with Crest and focusing on how to make the ritual go as smoothly as possible.
Okay. The morning you're going to head off, your uncle and aunt send you off at the door. He says, well, she tells me you found a ship. Very happy for you, my boy. I hope you can move past hurts of before. Nothing quite like an open sea.
And exactly that. Just like you've been telling me, I don't think there's anything that could clear my mind more than being back out on the water.
Well, Archie, it's been a pleasure having you here, and I hope you find everything you need. I really do.
Thank you.
But don't hesitate to ask us for help.
Thank you both so much for your hospitality. I know you didn't need to do this for me, and it means the world. I'll never forget the kindness you showed me these past few months.
Go do great things. Good luck, my boy.
Thank you.
So you take your family's ship down to the docks and find your new home on the Iron Serpent. And when you get there, it's just a flurry of activity, even more so than the other day. They are most deftly preparing for what's about to happen. You can hear Laura just shouting out to people, and then the guy with the glasses, quartermaster, is just like checklist after checklist. And they don't even notice you board the ship. That's just how like focused they are. And you make your way down to where you would assume the captain would be, in the engine room.
Captain, sir?
Ah, Archie, there you are.
How are the preparations coming along?
We are almost done. All I gotta do is plug this thing in right here, and right here. Zoom. Everything kind of comes to life, and some crackling here and there, but he just like kind of holds up his hands, hoping that like nothing explodes.
There's one thing I'll need before we get the ritual underway.
What's that?
I'll need the elemental crystal.
Like you need to hold it?
Yes, and we'll have to bring her up to the deck.
Okay. And then we put it back in and plug it in?
Correct.
Got it. He just like powers down the thing, unplugs it, takes out a giant crystal. Actually, it doesn't really look that giant in his hands because he is very tall, 6'4", and just a huge guy. Yeah, looking at him more closely now, you can tell he's kind of in his early 40s, human man, and has spent many years out in the elements. His dark hair flecked with silver and a thick, well-kept beard. As you saw before, he has an iron right hand and is currently wearing like a workman's leather apron and is just like in a tank top and covered in grease and sweat. He looks like he hasn't showered in 4 days or left this room. Just been extremely focused on this project.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
I will take the crystal from him and begin walking up to the deck.
Yeah. Once he places it in your hands, it looks a lot bigger than it did when he was holding it. But yeah, you go up to the deck. He follows you up. You turn around at one point and you realize there's like 30 people behind you as they've like come across from different areas of the ship. They realize what's about to happen.
Archie steps over to the side of the boat, opens up the tea kettle. Don't worry, Crest. We got this. And he pours them out into the ocean. Standing in the center of the deck, he raises his staff with one hand and in the other begins to channel lightning from his fingers and begins drawing on the deck the symbol of House Lyrandar in the Mark of the Storm and inscribing runes at points around the circle. Captain?
Yes, son.
Could I borrow 2 or 3 of your crew?
Of course. They're gonna make it, right? Not gonna...
Yes. No sacrifices here, not today.
Wonderful.
And I'm gonna hand out 3 specific candle-looking things. Okay. I've got the incense. I've got the circle drawn. Elementals ready to go. Okay. I think we're ready.
All right then, take it away.
The wind around the ship, which the background is perfect, begins to pick up immensely, and the waves directly surrounding the ship begin to get choppier and choppier. Archie sets the crystal down in the center of the actual ritual circle itself and says, Iaquam essersi. The elements themselves seem to begin to reflect that command, and a spiral of water barrels over top of the ship. Archie seems kind of nervous, but continues, Hear me, Crest. It's our time now. He places the crystal down, takes his ceremonial dagger out, and cuts his palm, letting the blood fall on the crystal. And as he does this, he says, I vow to honor our bond, to safeguard and guide this vessel through calm or storm, to wield our combined power with wisdom and respect. With the blood of my lineage, I seal this covenant, binding my fate with yours. In unity and purpose, as one, we shall sail beyond horizons and face all storms together. By the legacy of House Lighterandar and the winds that carry our name, let this bond be forged in trust and strength, now and forevermore. A flash of lightning will strike the crystal in front of Archie. The circle itself will begin to glow as, quite literally in essentially 100-foot sphere around the boat, the elements swirl. The wind is howling. It seems like thunderclouds have appeared only over the ship itself. And then they quiet all at once. I think it worked, Captain.
Really?
Well, we're not dead, so I'd assume so. Pick up the crystal and hand it back to him. Take good care of him.
We will. You will too.
That's the idea.
Been such a long time. Can't believe we finally made it to this point. The crewmen cheer. And Captain says, let's put it back.
I do have one charge for you and your crew, Captain.
What's that?
This boat is more than just a boat now. It's a part of me. It's a part of Crest. I will protect this ship with all my power for as long as I'm still here. And I'd ask you all to do the same.
Aye.
Then let the legends tell of the Iron Serpent and all of our wonderful journeys to come.
Indeed. Don't forget. We'll keep you safe. We'll take care of you. Part of the crew now.
Sounds like we have a lot of fun to be had, Captain.
That we do. He kind of like giddily runs down to put the crystal back. And you can hear the moment that it roars to life, and you can feel the connection to the boat establish to you and become stronger.
Archie's going to walk up to the helm and kind of place his hands on the wheel, and we did it, boy. We're really here.
You feel he doesn't say anything to you in response, but you feel him, and he's happy and content. And I think that's a good place to end at.
Outstanding. Thank you, Derek.
You're welcome. Thank you. I think that was fun.
Well, that's all for today. Thank you for joining us on our adventure. We hope you had as much fun as we did. Please drop a like, subscribe, and hit that bell for the next session. as we continue Lost Horizons, the Seas of Redemption campaign.